Hello everyone. Previously we were discussing about the concepts of debentures, and whenever there is a situation of oversubscription, how we have to deal with such cases. There are not much adjustments with regard to oversubscription. Only thing is, if it is mentioned in the question regarding how they have dealt about the oversubscription, it may be refunded or it may be transferred to the next installment, whatever may be. If it is mentioned in the question, do like that. You need to pass necessary entries for the both situation. But in case of shares, you have to go through the question very wisely, because there are different alternatives for dealing oversubscription. That is with regard to shares as well as debentures. So let us continue with the other theoretical aspects with regard to debentures. Second case, issue of debentures for consideration other than cash. We have learned a similar type of system under shares. So let us go on with the topic, issue of debentures for consideration other than cash. I believe you all know the concept of consideration other than cash. Sometimes the company have to make some financial transaction with regard to purchase of capital asset or investment in capital asset. In simple term, we can say purchase of fixed assets, or the company might purchase the business of some other concern. Whatever may be the purchase, the company have to make the payment, and the payment may be usually in the form of cash. Sometimes instead of paying the cash, the company might choose to pay or offer debentures instead of cash. So you need to pass necessary entries with regard to such situations. So let us go through that. The company issues debentures for consideration other than cash. It is a normal situation, just like shares. Debentures issued may be in the form of par, premium and discount. For example, a company may purchase an asset from the vendor and issue its debentures in exchange of for cash or whatever may be. For instead of paying in the form of cash, the company might offer their debentures in exchange for the assets. So the company might deal such situations in the form of par, in the form of premium, in the form of discount. That may be specifically mentioned in the question. So what is the entry for the purchase of various assets? We all know it's a common entry. Whenever we purchase an assets, the entry will be assets account debted to cash. That's a common entry. But here we are offering debentures instead of cash. So what will be the entry? The entry will be assets account debtor. Here you will show the amount of purchase consideration. What was the agreed amount for the value of the asset? Assets account debtor to vendor account. First of all, you have to pass the entry for that. Whenever a purchase happens, you need to enter the journal entry like this. After that, the entry for the issue of debentures account. For that, the entry will be vendor account debtor. Here the issue of debentures in the settlement of purchase to debentures account. You may think that you can write both the entries. Instead of writing these both the entries, you can write a single entry, but as far as a company's point of view, you need to show it as two different entries, because here we are offering or issuing debentures instead of cash, so we can't show it in a single entry. There is no rule regarding that, but instead it is better to follow like showing these two entries separate. So asset account debtor to vendor account, after that vendor account debtor to debentures. You may think that you can easily write asset account up to debentures. It is correct, but it is better to follow this method. And as I have mentioned earlier, debentures may be issued to the vendor for consideration other than cash, may be issued at par, at premium and at discount. So let us confront some of the cases with regard to that. Before we go into that, there is another important aspect with regard to purchase of business. In the beginning of the session, I have mentioned that the company might make some financial transactions in the form of purchasing the capital assets, usually purchasing of fixed assets of other concerns or the business of the other concern. Sometimes our business or our company might purchase the business of other. The reasons may be some of the commercial reasons. We are not going to dig upon that, but understand this concept. The company sometimes not only purchase the assets of the other concern, sometimes the company might purchase the entire business of other concern. So the entire business of other concern means what are the things that comprises the entire business of the other concern. So from the commerce point of view or from the accounts point of view, we can say the other business comprises of assets and liabilities. So whenever we purchase the assets and liabilities of other concern, usually there will be a goodwill result and a capital reserve result. So what is a goodwill result and capital reserve result? In simple terms, we might plan to purchase the business of Mr. X, for example, for rupees 7 lakhs. Let it be the purchase consideration. Purchase consideration means whatever you are agreeing to pay for whatever you are going to buy from the other party. Whatever you are going to pay, that is known as purchase consideration. For example, 7 lakhs you are going to buy the business of the other concern. But the value of the other concern, it may be 7 lakhs, or it may be 6,50,000, or it may be 7,50,000. That depends upon the value of the assets and liabilities. Usually the value of the entire business is based on the difference between the assets and liabilities of that concern. So usually whenever we agree to buy for the business of other concern for a certain sum, for example, like I have said now, if I am planning to buy the business of Mr. X for 7 lakhs, but after considering the assets and liabilities of that particular business, that is Mr. X business, I found that the value of the business is only 6,50,000, but I have agreed to pay 7 lakhs. So there is a difference. And another situation, when I plan to buy the business of Mr. X for the said example 7 lakhs, but when I measure the difference between assets and liabilities, I got 7,50,000. Again there is a difference. So whenever there is a difference, that represents either goodwill or either capital reserve. So what are the situations we can say goodwill is the result, or what are the situations say capital reserve is the result? There is a simple mathematical trick for that, so let us go through it. Whenever we are going to purchase the business of other concern, whatever may be the concern, find out the assets and liabilities. Usually it will be given in the question. Only thing you have to do is find the difference between the assets and liabilities of the business which you are intending to buy. It may be given in the question. For the time being I am explaining from our point of view. So find out the difference between the assets and liabilities of the concern which we are going to buy. Let it be whatever the amount may be. From that amount less the purchase consideration, the amount which you are ready to pay for the deal. So from the difference between assets and liabilities of the other concern, deduct the amount which you are going to pay for the purchase. Usually, definitely there will be a difference, and the difference may be a positive amount or a negative amount. If this amount is higher value, you will get a positive amount. If this amount is a lower value, you will get a negative amount. So these two amounts, it has some significance. If you are getting a positive amount, that means that difference amount is considered as capital reserve. That means I have mentioned an example before. I am intending to purchase the business of Mr. X for 7 lakhs, but after measuring the difference between the assets and liabilities of Mr. X, I found that the value of that business was 7,50,000. So I am actually paying less amount when compared to the value of that business. So that difference amount is considered as capital reserve. It is usually a credit value balance or a credit value, and it will be shown in the liability side of the balance sheet. Sometimes the other situation, whenever you are paying more amount than the actual value of the business, in that case you will definitely get a negative value. That amount is considered as goodwill. Goodwill is an asset item or a debit item, so it will be shown in the asset side of the balance sheet. It is the hardest form of fixed asset. So these are the simple mathematical concept with regard to the purchase of business of other concern. So I believe you have understand the concept. You will get a clear picture once we go through the computations. And like this, you need to know another important concept, that is how to find the value of debentures. So why we need to find the value of debentures? Usually it will be given in the question. Then why we have to find the value of debentures? Sometimes whenever we make a financial transaction with a vendor or an outsider with regard to any of the purchase, for the purchase consideration we may issue debentures. So at the time of issue of debentures, sometimes we may issue the debentures at par, at premium and at discount. So usually in the case of par it doesn't affect our computation, but in the case of discount and premium, you have to exactly find the actual value of the final debentures which you are going to offer. At that time there is a simple equation for finding the actual value of debentures. That will be the actual value of debenture. Value of the debenture means total value of debentures. It will be mentioned in rupees. Value of the asset which you are going to buy divided by price of one share. Price of one share, here is the most trickiest part. Price of one share means if the value of the one share, if it is issued at par, it will be rupees 100. If the value of one share, if it is issued at discount, let it be 10%, then the price of one share, it will be 90. So you have to show 90 here. And what if it was issued for premium? What will be the price of one share? If it is a 10%, it will be 110, or we can simply say 110. So value of the asset, it will be given in the question divided by whatever the situation stated in the question. It may be issued at par, it may be issued at premium, or it may be issued at discount. Depending upon the case specified in the question, you need to show here into 100. Then you will get the value of debentures for whatever the transaction which you are going to deal with. So these two important aspects you have to take into consideration while dealing with the purchase of business as well as purchase of fixed assets. This usually comes in the case of fixed asset, and this usually comes in the case of purchase of business. Anyway, depends upon the question, you might use these two situations or equations interchangeably. So let us go through a case, then you will get a clear picture regarding the theoretical aspects which we have discussed until now. Issue of debentures to vendors at par. A company purchased assets of the book value of 99,000 from another firm. It was agreed that purchase consideration to be paid by issuing 11% debentures of 100 each. Assume the debentures were issued at par, at discount and at premium. Oh, it's a compact case, means in this same question we are going to discuss all the three situations. Even though it is given issue of debentures to vendors at par, but we are going to discuss all the three cases. Okay, from this question itself you will get a clear picture. So first of all, you need to pass the entry for the purchase of an asset. The entry will be asset account debted to vendor account. We have discussed that being assets purchased from vendor for 99,000. So what was the value of the asset? 99,000. So if it is issued at par, means you are going to offer debentures worth of rupees 99 itself. So anyway, let us first of all pass the entry asset account debted to vendor account, value of the asset 99,000. That is the first entry. There are two entries with regard to purchase of fixed assets. Next is the entry for the issue of debentures. Here there are three situations. You have to pass entries for the three situations. So you need to pass another three entries for the same transaction, because it was a case of par, discount and premium. Otherwise, if you are asked to pass entries for any of these three situations, then you need to pass only two entries. Next entry, with regard to issue of debentures at par, the entry will be vendor account debtor 2. What was the type of debenture? It was 11% debenture. That is the name of the debentures. So to 11% debentures account 99,000, and here this 11% debentures account, actually this is the where you need to show the actual value of the debentures. Earlier we have mentioned an equation, value of the asset divided by price of one debenture. So value of the asset is 99,000. 99,000 divided by what is the value of one debenture? Here it is a case of par. So one debenture is 100. So 99,000 divided by 100, you will get 990. That much number of shares, sorry, debentures you are going to issue. So what is the price of share? Debenture 100. So 990 into 100, you will get definitely 11% debentures, the value of 11% debentures. In the bracket they have mentioned the computation being allotment of 990. 990 means 99,000 divided by value of one debenture. That is how they have mentioned 990 debentures, allotting 990 debentures of rupees 100 each. That is how 99,000 was obtained or shown here. I was just mentioning how the 990 is shown. So these are the actual entries that have to be passed. Next, in the question it was mentioned to pass entries with regard to par. We have already shown it. Next, at a discount of 10%. So what is the price of one debenture? It is rupees 100. So whenever there is a discount, you need to deduct. That is 10% discount means 100 minus 10%, you will get 90. So 90 is the price of one debenture when the company is offering debentures at a discount. So next, while passing the next entry, you need not have to again pass the entry for the purchase asset, because we have already passed. In this question you are asked to show the entries for par, discount and premium. So next, repeat the entry for the issue of debentures to the vendor. Here you have to show the details for discount also. So the entry will be vendor account debtor, discount on issue of debentures account debtor to 11% debentures. See, discount offered on debentures is actually a sort of expense from our point of view or company's point of view. We can say it as a capital loss. We have discussed about that. That is why we have debited here. Next, vendor account, you will show the actual value of the asset. It will usually be like that. So let it be 99,000. Discount on issue of debentures. If you have any confusion with regard to how to find 11,000, there is an easy method. Next one, to 11% debentures. Here you have to show the actual value of debentures. We have learned or discussed about the equation for finding the actual value of debentures. That is value of the asset 99,000 divided by price of one debenture. Here we are dealing with the discount factor. So price of one debenture is not 100, it will be 90. So 99,000 divided by 90 into 100, you will get 1,10,000. So if you know the value of vendor side and if you know the value of 11% debentures, then you can easily find the value of discount on issue of debentures. Take the difference. That is one of the easiest way. Next one, discount on issue of debentures means here what was the discount offered? It was 10%. And you may come across a doubt that here the company has offered debentures at a discount, so why it is shown as 1,10,000 instead of 9,000? Because it is issued at discount. Don't think like that, because the value of the asset will remain the same. We are offering debentures at a discount in order to cover the price of the asset. So the 99,000 was the value of the asset and we are offering debentures at a discount and offering the debentures at a discount should also cover the purchase price. You need to think like that, because whenever we are purchasing at a discount, you mean value of the asset was 99,000, so off by purchasing those assets at a discount means there must be a reduced value for the asset, that is 99,000 minus 10%. Don't ever think like that. Here we are offering debentures at a discount, and the price of the asset will never ever change. The only thing that changes is the value of the debentures. So offering debentures at a discount means you are covering the purchase price of the asset, and after covering also you need to consider the value of the discount. So in order to show the value of the discount and the purchase price, you have to offer the debentures at that value. It will be considered much higher than the price of the asset. That is the concept. So here 99,000 is the price of the asset, but you are offering 1,10,000 worth of debentures, but it was offered at a discount of 10%. That is how you have to think. I believe you have understand the concept. So the entry is being 1100 debentures of rupees 100 each issued at discount of 10% to vendors. How the 1100 is obtained is 99,000 divided by 90. If you multiply that value into 100, you will get the value of the debentures. Next and the last case, when the company has purchased the same asset by offering debentures at premium. So how you are going to deal that? First of all, you need not have to pass this entry, because already you have passed asset account up to vendor. Next, how we are going to pass the entry for the issue of debentures when it is issued at premium as a purchase consideration. Entry will be vendor account debtor to 11% debentures account to premium on issue of debentures. Here also you have to think like that. The value of asset remains the same, and it will be shown as 99,000 in the case of vendor account, because we are purchasing the fixed asset worth of 99,000. The only thing is we are offering debentures. It may be issued at par, it may be issued at premium, or it may be issued at discount. So next one is to 11% debentures. Here you have to show the actual value of debentures which you are going to offer. Next one, to premium on issue of debentures. So here the premium on issue of debentures, it is 10%. So how we are going to find the premium as well as 11% debentures? Here also it is better to find, first of all, find the value of the debentures offered. Here the value of debentures means value of the asset. What is the value of the asset? 99,000 divided by what is the price of one debenture? It was 100, but we are offering it at a premium. So the premium amount will be 100 plus 10, it will be 110. So 99,000 divided by 110, you will get 900 into 100. That is a equation for that. So 99,000 divided by 110 into 100, you will get 90,000. Remember the equation is value of the asset divided by price of one debenture into 100. That is the equation. See, this was the equation, value of the asset divided by price of the debenture into 100. This equation remains the same. Even if it is a case of premium also, it will be 100. Even if it is a case of a debenture also, it will be 100. Here it will be 100 means into 100. It is a equation. Equation will be remains the same whatever the situation. The only thing that changes is value of the asset and the price of one debenture. If it is at a discount, here you will show 90 value of the asset. Let it be 99,000 divided by 90 into 100. If it is a case of premium, it will be 99,000 divided by 110 into 100. Here 100 doesn't have any relation with if it is a premium or a discount or a par situation. The only thing change is denominator and the numerator. So the value of debenture is 99,000 divided by 110 into 100, you will get 90,000. So vendor value was 99,000, debenture value is 90,000, so difference amount will be considered as the premium on issue of debentures. So these are the entries you have to pass with regard to these three situations. Usually you may come across the question where you either have to pass in case of premium or discount or par. This type of question will be very rare, but you may find this type of question in the university's examination. We can't say anything like it will come or it won't come. We can't say like that. Anyway, prepare for the worst. So these are the entries you have to pass with regard to these situations. Next one, issue of debentures to vendor at premium. M Limited took over assets of 7 lakh and liabilities of 60,000. So whenever you come across this type of question, definitely you need to understand that it is a case of purchase of business. Whenever there is a purchase of business, there is a certain pattern of computation to know whether there is capital reserve with regard to that purchase or whether there is goodwill with regard to that purchase. For that, there is an equation. We have learned about the equation just now. Go through it. So M Limited took over the assets worth of 7 lakhs and liabilities worth of 60,000 of N Limited for the purchase consideration of 6,60,000. M Limited paid the purchase consideration by issue of 12% debentures of 100 each at premium. Give entries in the books of the M Limited. So even though there are two entries with regard to that, but you have to be very careful, because first of all you need to identify whether there is capital reserve or goodwill with regard to that purchase. So first of all, let us identify that. Here the value of the asset is 7 lakhs, liability is 60,000, purchase consideration is 6,60,000. So what will be the result? 7 lakhs minus 60,000. First of all, you need to take the difference between the assets and liabilities of the other concern. So 7 lakh minus 60,000, you will get 6,40,000. So that is the value of that business. But how much was the amount you are going to pay? Sorry, M Limited going to pay? It was 6,60,000. That is way more than the actual value of the business of the N Limited. So value of the N Limited is 6,40,000. Difference between these two. And the purchase consideration you are going to pay is 6,60,000. You are going to pay more. So you will get a negative value or a positive value. Definitely you will get a negative value. Negative value means it is a case of goodwill. If you have any doubts, let us go to that equation, then you will get a clear idea. See, this was the equation. Value of the assets minus liabilities. It was 7 lakh minus 60,000. So it will be 6,40,000. Purchase consideration was 6,60,000. So definitely there will be a negative value. Here this value is less, this value is high. So negative means that represents goodwill. So let us come back to the question. So first of all, let us go through the entries. First one, whenever there is a purchase, it will be assets account debtor to liabilities account debtor to N Limited. That is the pattern of passing the journal entry. Asset account debtor, leave a space, to liabilities account debtor to N Limited. But we can't say leave a space like this, because if there is a case of a capital reserve, you need not have to leave a space. Instead, you need to leave space on the credit side. So it's better to find out whether it is a goodwill situation or a capital reserve situation in advance. Then you pass the entry. Here it is a situation of goodwill. So let it write down like this: sundry asset account debtor, goodwill account debtor to liabilities account to N Limited account. This is how you have to pass. And first of all, let us post easiest part. The value of the assets and liabilities, they won't change. It will be given directly in the question. Write those amounts first. So asset is 7 lakhs and the liability is 60,000. And what was the purchase consideration we are going to pay? It was 60,60,000. We are not going to pay. It was M Limited. M Limited was going to pay 6,60,000. To whom? To the N Limited. So show 6,60,000 in the N Limited account side. So the remaining one is goodwill. if you take the difference between 7 lakhs and 7 lakh 20,000, you will get the difference 20,000 here. The difference amount will be here. Or else, if you have gone through the computation of how to find the goodwill and capital reserve, there is a pattern of equation. If you go through that, you will get the difference amount. So you can directly show the difference amount here. So this is the entry you have to pass whenever there is a purchase of another business. You need to pass like this. So this is the entry for purchasing the asset. Next, the company, that is M Limited, pay the purchase consideration by issuing 12% debentures of 100 each at 10% premium. So you have to pass the entry for the premium situation. We have dealt the premium situation here, so it will be like this. The entry will be N Limited account. See, in this question there was no details regarding the other party's name or whatever it is, so it will be vendor's account. And if the name of the other party or the vendor is given directly in the question, definitely you need to show the name. Don't show vendor. If there is no name, you can show vendor, otherwise show the name given in the question. N Limited account, see the same entry, N Limited account, instead of vendor you are writing N Limited account to 12% debentures. Here we are offering 12% debentures to premium on issue of debentures. And here the N Limited account, you will show what is the purchase consideration you have paid, 6,60,000. And what is the value of the debentures? Same pattern which we have done, the same equation which we are going to use. It will be, see, what is the purchase consideration or the whatever it is, the value of the business, 6,60,000. It will be much better to say like that. It will be purchase consideration, because if you think like the value of the business, it will be 6,40,000. So you might get confused. So for the calculation of amount of business, for making payment of 110, because it is a case of premium, for making payment of 6,60,000, think like that. Purchase consideration is to be considered in the equation, not the value of the business, because if you think like that, here the value of the business is 6,40,000. You will get confused with the examination. So it is better to think like that. Purchase consideration divided by value of one debenture. So it will be 6,60,000 divided by value of one debenture is, it is issued at premium of 10%, so it will be 110. Instead of writing the value of one debenture, that is 1 divided by 110. So 6,60,000 divided by 110, you will get 6,000 debentures. Our equation is not complete, you need to multiply it with 100. So 6,000 into 100, you will get 6 lakh. Show the 6 lakhs in the 12% debentures. And we have already written 6,60,000. Here is 6 lakhs. So what will be the remaining amount that has to be shown in the premium issue of debentures? It will be 60,000. That is the easiest method. Actually there is a method for finding out the premium on issue of debentures, but instead it is better to follow like this. That will be much better. So these are the cases you have to deal in an examination, and I believe you have understand these methods and techniques. So you need to consider these two situations differently. Here it is the purchase of an asset. So purchase of an asset, the entry will be different, and purchase of business, the entry will be much different, even though the concept all remains the same. See, and finding out the value of debentures in both the situation, there is one difference. Here the value of debenture is computed by value of the asset by the price of one debenture. Here if you think like that, you will get confused. So think like this. In the case of purchase of business, the equation for finding out the value of the debenture, it will be purchase consideration divided by value of or price of one debenture. Think like that, then it will be much easier. So go through these cases. After that try to find the answer of this question. M Limited purchase 8,40,000 and took over liabilities of 80,000, so take the difference, and agreed value is 7,20,000. agreed value means purchase consideration. Agreed value means the value which they are intending to pay, or whoever the buyer, he who is intending to pay, that is known as agreed value of 7,20,000. Simply means purchase consideration. And M Limited issued 11% debentures at 10% discount in full satisfaction of the purchase price. give journal entries. Just like this you need to pass entries, but there is much difference because it is a case of goodwill. If you go through this, it may be the case of goodwill or a reserve. Go through this and you need to pass entry for the issue of debentures. Here it is a premium, here it is a discount. So anyway there will be two entries similar to this one, but it will be much different. So go through this case. We will discuss about further cases in the coming sessions. If you have any queries, please do let me know.